So this wheels around pretty easy on the big casters, and I've got these adjustable feet that can lift the stand off the caster on all four corners. So there I've adjusted the 4 feet with 2 straight edges to get this surface perfectly in plane with this surface. And that's handy if I'm routing a long piece of wood. I can use the table saw as an outfeed support, and likewise I can use the router table as an outfeed support for the table saw. And here's a good application where I've got a 4-foot wide sled which would be falling off the table saw without some side support here. It's important that the material be clamped, that the tap be already over the hole, and that you have your hand on the stop button so you can stop it very quickly. And I've got the drill press adjusted so that the speed is at the minimum. As this drill press has no reverse, I have to extract the tap. But the benefit I'm getting is a very perpendicular thread. Now it's easy to complete the thread by hand because it's guided straight by what was done on the drill press. And I can go all the way through here. There you can see I went completely through. I'm making the feet out of 3 layers of wood in a sandwich, kind of like plywood where the grain goes in opposite directions. This sandwich here has already been drilled and tapped with the same threads as the bolts. Then I'll glue this piece on, and that way I don't need a blind tap to come to the end there. I'm not worried about the clamps marking the wood because I'm going to thin this out when it's all done. And also I've got the threaded holes facing up so that the glue doesn't dribble down into them and clog the threads. I've got the sandwich made. There's the threaded holes, and so on the bottom I'm putting these glide pads on with adhesive tape, and I want a little groove there so that they can't slide around. And I'm cutting that groove with a hole saw. The first set I made are fine, but they feel a little big for the stand that I'm working on, so I made another set of smaller ones. I got a tap to match the outside threads of this threaded insert, and then tapped a hole into the wood and put the threaded insert in with some epoxy. And there's a tool that goes with that that helps to turn it in easy. Then on the other side, the top side, I got a tap that matches the thread of the bolt and tapped into the wood. And that's just so that there's a tight fit there so that dust doesn't go down. And it also creates a bit of friction, because if you're only running in the metal, then it's kind of easy to turn. But with the metal and the wood, it gives a little bit of friction so that when you set it, it's not going to wiggle around. One problem here is if this is turned down so that the nut jams into the wood, and then when you undo it, the nut tends to come loose. So what I did is I made these wooden washers, and they'll go on here so that the nut never bottoms out, that the foot always hits the wooden washer first. And with my wooden washer glued in place, this will bottom out on the washer rather than on the nut. And therefore when it comes out the other way, the nut won't be grabbed and unscrewed. And the same thing could have been accomplished by drilling a counterbore hole larger diameter than the nut into this piece of wood, and then having the foot bottom out on this piece of wood and not use the wooden washer. I've got blue Loctite on the wooden threads in here. Hopefully that'll lock it in enough, because I don't want these things to unthread when the legs are moved up and down. I made this tool by cutting the end off an Allen key, and then that can just go in the chuck.